Good afternoon, everyone. I can't say good morning as I usually do. I'm programmed to say, but let me say good afternoon, everybody. Or maybe it's late morning, early afternoon, whatever the case may be. It's great to be alive. Great to be with you. Nathan Ivy Show getting started a little bit later than we usually do. Now, usually we get started at approximately 8 p.m., but I had a very important meeting to attend this morning, and I had to do what I had to do, and I thank you for bearing with me. Did you watch any of the Democrat debate last night? They were live in Nevada. Live in Nevada. If so, do you have a favorite candidate? If you watched, which is the best candidate for Black America? These are some of the things I like to talk about, at least on the national level this morning. And welcome back. Hey, perhaps take a second and please share this show. I'm on at a different time. Perhaps choppers who normally can't listen to the live show can listen in live and listen at your pleasure. Good morning. Currently 11:07 a.m. in the Queen City. I want to change that right there. Good morning to you. I want to remind you that there is a community town hall event coming up on the 25th at the Word of Deliverance from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. It's good. It's a presentation by the Move Forward campaign. And they want to educate everybody to vote yes on issue 7. Are you aware of what issue 7 is? What it's supposed to do? Well, if not, then perhaps you should attend. Now, I plan to be your eyes and ears. There's a couple things going on that day, so I'll be jumping around. But I do plan on being in attendance for at least one of those sessions. They've got 2 sessions. One is going to be on February the 25th. That's coming up on Tuesday, just so you know. And then the other one is going to be on March 9th. March 9th. And that one is going to be at the Mount Healthy City Council meeting. Are you aware of what issue 7 is even supposed to do? I'm getting a message here. Sorry. Are you aware of what issue 7 is supposed to do? Well, let me educate you real quick. So let me give you a quick. Thank you so much, Crystal. I appreciate it. Please share the show today in wherever you would like to share it. Thank you. Appreciate it. I want as many people to get baptized by the flow as possible. Got many things to discuss this morning. Now, this is a talk show, as you know, 513-873-7134. That is my number. I'll say it again, 513-873-7134. It is a free call anywhere in the world. Anywhere in the world, you can call me for free. I will take care of it. But there is a cost. It's a maxim. Open your mind before you open your mouth. Other than that, it is all good. And I welcome divergent points of view. Welcome that. But back to issue 7. It's an initiative that will invest about $130 million per year to improve Hamilton County's transportation system, to fix roads, bridges, and the bus system. Issue 7 will create a better, more equitable community by fixing the roads and bridges we all travel on and connecting nearly 350,000 jobs to 24-hour bus service, creating new crosstown routes, which I think we can agree, at least on that point, we need, and improving the frequency of the Metro bus. So again, I'll say the first community town hall will be at the Word of Deliverance coming up on Tuesday, February 25th. And the second will be at the Mount Healthy City Council on March 9th. Both of those events start at 6 p.m. So 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. And of course, you don't have to say the whole time. And there is a Facebook, hold on here. There is a Facebook event page that's been traveling around. I've shared it. And I'm going to share it directly with you right now, Choppers, inside the Chop Shop. That's why if you're interested, you don't have to look too far. Boom. I got you. I got you. And I wonder how Mike Bloomberg felt last night, because he was constantly under assault. Those other dim candidates was doing a stop and frisk on his ass last night. And it started from the opening tip. Like soon as they blew the whistle and threw the ball up, basketball reference. I'm a B-ball fan. Soon as the ball went up, Elizabeth Warren came with the laws. Who do you think won the debate last night? Who do you think lost the debate last night? And who do you think is going to represent Black America the best in your opinion? In your opinion, I want to get your thoughts about it. Again, 513-873-7134. Thank you so much for being here. I did share that with you. Yeah, I sure did. The community town hall. Somebody on Facebook is asking me. I'm going to repost it again so people can get the information they're looking for. If you're interested, I want to make sure you can find it. Good morning to you. Thanks to all the people that have been posted inside the Friends page. As I said, that is a place where I go every single day to look for sources. A lot of the listeners of the Nathan Ivey Show were in that Friends page, and they post and bring things to our attention. You're going to get a whole lot of Cincinnati stuff because that's where I'm based, and a lot of the audience is based in the greater Cincinnati area. But, of course, we're going to get flows about everything, especially as it relates to African Americans. Did you watch any of the debate last night? I'll ask again. If so, what are your general impressions? And who do you think won? Who do you think lost? Is this real? Bone Thugs and Harmony have now become boneless Thugs and Harmony? Apparently they got a new relationship with Buffalo Wild Wings. That's kind of interesting. Bone Thugs and Harmony to boneless Thugs and Harmony. I ain't mad at them, man. Make your money. Make your money. In fact, if that is true. They might be searching for a deal. They may be searching for a deal. Good morning to you, or should I say good early afternoon, late morning to you. How are you? Good everyone. I see a few of the Choppers here. CG Dub Rice, good morning, Choppers. Sharp Rice, good morning, Nathan and Choppers. Tanika Rice, good morning, Nathan and Choppers. Ashley Rice, good morning, Nathan and Choppers. Enjoying my last day of my birthday week vacation. Your last day, your birthday week vacation? You going back to work tomorrow on a Friday? Well, I hope you enjoyed it. Damn, I hate that. But, I'm not sure what your work schedule is. It might be what it is. Tracy Rice, hi, good to see you. Cam Rice, peace. Black Russia's in the house. Good morning, everybody. Trump won the debate last night. Hashtag alt middle. I will say, and I don't know who came up with the idea, but I think it's a smart idea. You tell me if this is customary, or is Trump going to start a new trend? So Trump has been doing something that other presidents have never really done. And that is spending a lot of time on the golf course. And because he spent more time on the golf course than the last 10 presidents together, I think. More time, like a third of the time he's been in the house, the White House as president. A full third. He spent that time, playing golf. And had the nerve to criticize Barack Obama and lie, talking about, I'm going to be too busy to be golfing when he was on the campaign trail. But there's one thing that's interesting. So it's interesting the timing and the placement of some of these Trump rallies. Trump had a rally last night. And to me, I think it's pretty smart. Because rather than allow his base to watch that shit going on over in Nevada, where all of these people are criticizing and pointing out, the weak points of Trump. Trump entertains his own folks. He's got his folks over here like, no, pay attention over here, please. Will we see future presidents pull a move like that? I guarantee you Trump has made some moves that people complain about, but future presidents are going to do the same damn thing because it works. Yeah, they got this big old debate. Everybody's been talking about it. Oh, we got a big debate. Oh, Bloomberg. Trump's like, stay here with me. Pay attention. Watch the little bird. He's doing magic tricks over there. But they love him. In my opinion, I think that Elizabeth Warren, if you want to say win and lose, I think that Elizabeth Warren was the winner. And I think some of that was, maybe she got lucky. I mean, I don't know. If I was a Democrat candidate up there, I'd want to be standing right next to Bloomberg because he's the person that everybody was watching last night. And so if you're going to be on stage, you want to be seen, right? So what better place is there, especially if you're planning to launch attacks, than to be right next to Bloomberg? I thought the loser last night, in my humble opinion, was Bloomberg. He just, he wasn't ready for that. He got himself in trouble when he started talking about the NDAs, the non-disclosure agreements. These are agreements that he's publicly acknowledged that he signed with women who may have worked for him in some capacity and then alleged some type of sexual harassment. And so he pays them off. But see, part of the payoff is the non-disclosure agreement. And those things are far more prevalent than you may think. You know what I'm saying? I signed a non-disclosure agreement when I left Radio One. It's part of the way that they try to keep you from speaking your mind. But one of their employees effed up and breached the deal. And I said, oh, bam. Well, if you breached the deal, hey, I can say whatever. So I was able to keep it rizzle 100% to my personal satisfaction. But a lot of people find these non-disclosure agreements and they say something like, you can't say anything. You can't talk about anything that happened. You can't talk about what the agreement is. Switching back to Bloomberg. You can't do this. You can't do that. And, people are already leaving. If they're dangling some cash in front of you, cash works. And that's what happens. And so last night on the stage, it came out. And Bloomberg was not ready for those attacks. He wasn't ready. They formed Voltron on his ass last night, as we might expect. I mean, it comes with the territory. You want to be president? Okay, cool. You can be president, but you're going to take these hot bars. They came at him about his non-disclosure agreements. I mean, really, in the opening statement, Elizabeth Warren didn't waste any time. She got straight Lizzie with his ass off the tizzle, off the top. Like, she described what sounded like Donald Trump. She's like, no, I'm talking about this guy. This guy sitting right next to me. They attacked him about everything. That's a debate. And I only say that not because there were so many attacks, but because I thought that the candidates really tried to separate themselves, even if it was small, right? They want the voters to know the unique distinctions between them, even if they're small. So I thought that the candidates spent time, in that effort, which makes sense. You're up there with 6 people. You want everybody on the big issues may agree with these things, but maybe the route that you take may be different. And they want the voters to know that. I thought it was, of all the debates, it was by far, to me, the most entertaining. What do you think about Joe Biden? What's up with Joe? What's going on with Joe? I won't even mention Amy Klobuchar. They asked her again last night. I've got the audio for you. We'll listen to a little bit of it and then analyze and break it down, deliver flows, whatever you want to call it. But I'm really interested in your opinion. Now, maybe you might be thinking that I ain't watched that shit. It's 11 a.m., so all kids should be in school right now. If they're not, they're juvenile delinquents and they're cussing and doing heroin and smoking anyway. So it makes no difference, right? I'm not going to influence them. That's your fault. So what else? I made some notes as I was watching last night. I thought it was quite interesting. I thought it was very, very interesting. And I switched over and listened to a little bit of Trump. Trump was entertaining his minions. They love the Trump show. Trump's going to leave office and go straight to, cable, I would say cable, or some type of broadcast performance, because that's who he is. That's who he is. That's what he is. What in the hell? What in the hell? Esoteric Brewing, Cincinnati's first minority-owned brewery. Yeah. That little corner, they used to call it People's Corner. People's Corner will be electric in Walnut Hills once again. Hasn't been electric since the 70s. Maybe early 80s. And I'm not a big drinker. That was never really my thing. And now I don't drink at all. That's a thing in the past at this point in my life. But that's never really been my thing. I don't hate on people that's into it, because I know that there are connoisseurs of different beers and you can pair them with different type of peanuts and beer nuts or whatever the hell they do. But I know there's a distinction between the beers. And Cincinnati has a big reputation for the different distinct breweries and beers that they have to offer. I got friends, that's what they do. They call themselves beer snobs and they love all that shit. I've never really been into it. But I like the idea. I like that there's a black-owned establishment over there. I remember that very same building right there in the front. There used to be a pawn shop right there for many, many years. It was a black-owned pawn shop. I remember my grandparents and my uncle taking me in there when I was very younger. I love it. I love it. I love that. Okay, that's nice. Nice. So yeah, I'm gonna check that out when they open up. That'd be great. What? Thank you, Jesse. Thank you, Fred. What up, Freddie Red? Appreciate it, brother. What is this? Oh, that sounds great. Oh, that is great. That's great. Love it. Are you done with Bloomberg after last night? Deborah on Facebook writes, I will not replace the cult of Trump with the cult of Bernie Sanders. No, thank you. I don't have a problem with, of the folks that's up there, to me, Bernie kind of stands out. And people keep saying, oh, socialism. Wait a minute. We're too accepting of the way things are. We're just too damn accepting of the way things are. Like, well, capitalist system, and we need millionaires, we need billionaires. Listen. Part of the reason why we got so much entrenched, highly concentrated poverty is because on the other side we have highly entrenched, concentrated wealth. Nobody's trying to stop you from being a billionaire. But if the process of creating billionaires creates a vacuum of wealth for tens of thousands, if not millions of Americans, well, then maybe we should start rethinking things like, I don't know, our tax policy. Maybe we should start rethinking these kind of things. Right? Because when you hear people saying, oh, the government is the enemy, that's rich people that created that bullshit. That's wealthy people that want to cast the government as evil because it plays into the narrative that allows them to keep all their damn money. That's all that shit is. It's nothing more than that. It's just straight up greed. Of course, not all wealthy people agree. I'm just saying that I don't think that Bernie's going to come in. Maybe we need something radical. Let's see. Oh, Bernie's too radical, I hear people say. Maybe we need radical. I mean, why is it that we can accept radical right, but not radical left? I mean, Republican president after Republican president, and now Trump, who if you a Democrat or a holdover, he'll just fire you in front of everybody, and it's like no big deal. You know what I'm saying? Drain the swamp my ass. Did you see the pardons essentially that Donald Trump has issued in the last 24 hours? People say he's going to do whatever he has to do to, help out Flynn, General Flynn, or maybe all of his cronies. Like, we have the most corrupt guy in the White House because he's just doing it in the front of people. Like, a lot of this stuff was going on no matter what. But Trump's like, bup it. I'm not even going to play no games and act like I'm not doing this. I'm partnering my buddies. You know what I'm saying? He don't even try to put no window dressing up on it. He just keeps it real. What did Trump say to his friends down at Mar-a-Lago? What was it, right before the inauguration? It was reported that he said to all of his rich friends doing a toast to probably like $5,000 champagne, you all just got a lot richer is what he told them, right? I mean, damn, you got $1 billion. You got $2 billion. That's a hell of a lot. Like, that's more money you can probably spend in your lifetime, in my humble opinion. So I'm not against wealth building. I'm for wealth building. But I think I'm also for responsible governance that to some degree tries to balance out, the negative effects of capitalism. You know what I'm saying? In the system. Because in the system we live in, if you got money, you can have power and control and influence in the political system. Like, if I'm sitting on, let's say I'm sitting on $30 million. If I'm sitting on $30 million living in Hamilton County, I can project that money into political power real easy. Real easy. Let's say you're sitting on 3,000. It's a difference. I think it's a little bit of a difference. Black Russia writes, Trump won the debate last night. Cassandra writes, hey, Choppers, Warren wasn't pulling any punches last night. Tracy writes, I voted yesterday. I almost threw up on the presidential candidate section. Is that right? That NDA killed Bloomberg. Yes, it did. Yes, it did. We're not, because there's no good reason why he's talking about transparency, why he shouldn't just do it. Just put it out there. But he's not going to do it because then these women will start talking about all the stuff he did. I wish we had some people of color in this race. I do. I wish we had some viable black candidates in the race too. Black female, black male at least. Looking at all those faces up there, I miss Cory Booker. I miss Kamala Harris. We get some color up there? That's anybody? But no. Nope. Cam writes, now since everyone shot their shot with Bloomberg, what's left? Policy and plans. Bloomberg will be stronger the next debate, I predict. When it comes to a plan that works, Bloomberg will shine more. Cam, I thought the same thing. Like, they shot their shot. They hit him with their best shot. And he's still going to be in the very next primary, which is going to be South Carolina. Speaking of which, guess who one of the moderators of the next debate is going to be? Fan favorite. Gayle King. Everybody loves Gayle King. Remember, fresh off her controversy when Snoop Dogg said he was going to send some dudes over there to murder her in the sleep. Remember that? Called her everything but a child of God, as religious people say. She is going to be, she's going to be down in South Carolina, which has a much larger African-American population. So you can expect for the conversation for them to be talking more about black issues. That's just how these things work. Yeah. And maybe Gayle King can redeem herself. All she has to do is go super hard for the culture. That's all she has to do. All she has to do is go super hard for the culture. Everybody will forgive her. But, she's not so bad. She's not so bad. She goes super hard at Amy Klobuchar over her prosecutor, over her decision she made as prosecutor, really district attorney is what I believe they called it in that particular county in Minneapolis. And if she goes super hard at Amy Klobuchar, she can redeem herself. She can get her black card back. Or maybe not. Or maybe not. Yeah, I mean, again, Bloomberg, I think, didn't he bring up the NDAs? Or was it Warren? But I thought it was a mistake for him to go down that rabbit hole, so to speak, and start trying to over-explain it. Because it's just a lose-lose. There's no way you're going to explain it. He should have pivoted. He should have did a DeMarcus Cousins minus the major ACL injury, do a little pivot, and then, play on. But he didn't do that. I bet he was standing there like, why did I go down this road? Why did I even talk about this? You can see it on his face. Mason Mullenweg's great debate last night. Without a doubt, the best of all the debates. Thoroughly enjoyed it, yeah. Yeah, I think best in terms of entertainment value, yeah. I think the candidates tried hard to make a distinction between themselves, so yeah, on that too. That's all good. CG Dub writes, Bloomberg's a wild boy, shaking my head. If you look like that, I would do you in a second. I do remember him, the news article about that coming out sometime last year. Yeah, apparently he told some woman that worked for him, like, I'd do you in a second. And as a man, have you ever felt that way? Hell yeah, you felt that way. Many times. As sexual, basic creatures, I mean, in an instant whether you'll hit that or not, male and female. But, Bloomberg in his privilege, 36 times a billionaire. You know what I'm saying? You got your white privilege going on. You got your billionaire privilege going on. You know what I'm saying? He shot his shot. And why would Bloomberg shoot his shot like that? Because I guarantee you this, C-Jub. I guarantee this. I guarantee he said the same thing to some little sexy thing, and it worked. Like, oh, really? I was thinking the same thing, Mr. Bloomberg, about you. You show me a man that keeps shooting out a corny ass or a really straight pointed line, because women respond to dudes that go straight for it. Certain women respond to that. So he probably shot his shot and it worked. And when your shot works, as a man, you just keep on shooting because it's a numbers game. Somebody going to say, yeah. Somebody's going to say, yeah. So that's why Bloomberg said that crazy shit, because it's worked. I guarantee it. I'd be willing to bet a few dollars on it. Not a whole lot, though. I'm not a betting man. I only bet on myself. That's one thing I bet on. I don't bet on shit else. Nothing but myself. Bloomberg said he can't get his taxes done at TurboTax. He was trying to make the point that, to me, that was a rehearsed line. And I'm not mad at it, because he was trying to make the point that, as a big-time 36-time billionaire who's got assets all over the world, running a big-ass media conglomeration, you're going to hear the Bloomberg report here in a minute. So he's just saying it's just very complicated. And, this whole taxes thing was not a big deal to me because Trump didn't release his taxes. For years and years and years, they made it like it was like a prerequisite, like you had to release your taxes. And Trump said, bump it, I ain't doing it. And nothing has happened. Nothing's happened. So there's no legal thing. You're not breaking a law. They should pass a law making it a federal crime. It should be a part of the requirement of the president, if people feel so strongly about it, that you have to release your taxes within a certain deadline. And if you don't, it disqualifies you for president. That's not the case. People choose to do it. So would I like to know if Bloomberg is invested in the prison industrial complex, or is he making money off the misery of people, black people, brown people in some part of the world? Yeah, I'd like to know that. Same thing with Trump. But they don't have to do it. Miss D writes greetings. CG Duck writes Gayle King, thumbs down. I'd rather have Joy Reid. I'd rather have Joy Reid as well. I agree with you on that. Let me confirm that. Let me confirm it before we get all into it. I already put it out there, so you should be saying, I bet you're saying, well, Nate, you're the talk show host. You should have already confirmed it. Let me just confirm it again. Because I saw it when I thought was a credible source. And let me look at just to make sure. Because I would prefer Gayle King as well. Okay, so CBS has a website for the debates. And let me see here. Here it is. Yeah, so you're going to have, in South Carolina, it'll be February 25th, so coming up in 5 days. You're going to have Norah O'Donnell, white female, dark hair, I believe, and Gayle King. Also, they're going to have Marguerite Brennan. Has he had any black men? Have any black men been a part of this? Have any black men who have been asking questions? I'd love to give me okay, let me give you a Joy Reid and maybe a Roland Martin. Okay. Or maybe a Joy Reid and a Nathan Ivey. That'd be dope. That would be dope. Or maybe it wouldn't be. They might be confining, but that would be dope. Bill Whitaker from 60 Minutes. So they got Major Garrett. Fuck who that is. Margaret Brennan. Bill Whitaker. Gayle King and Norah O'Donnell. So Gayle King will be a part of it. See, there it is. So now Gayle's going to be a redeem herself. Flo Montana. I like that better than. So now after last night, you want to change it up, huh? You are hilarious, man. You've been riding with Bloomberg all this time. After last night, he got exposed. Now you want to call yourself Flo Montana, which that works too. Mason Marlon writes, Warren won the debate last night. Joe came in a distant second. I just ain't feeling Joe, man. I don't know what, other than what we already know. There's something missing there. Like there's something. Joe's slow. Joe is slow. Let's put it that way. And I ain't trying to be disrespectful in no way, but that's just what I see. Bloomberg made R. Kelly, Harvey Weinstein, and Bill Cosby proud. I'm a little tired now. I had to swim back to shore after jumping ship last night. Is that right? You jumping ship out of here? That's hilarious. Oh, man. What I thought was interesting last night was Mayor Bloomberg talking about his stop and frisk policy. Check this out.
Coming fire on this next topic, so let's get into it. In 2015, this is how you
And, oh, my bad. Lester Holt last night. Somebody, is there a brother doing it? It was one last night.
describe your policing policy as mayor. Quote, we put all the cops in the minority neighborhoods. And you explain that as, quote, because that's where all the crime is. You went on to say, and the way you should get the guns out of the kids' hands is to throw them against the wall and frisk them. You've apologized for that policy, but what does that kind of language say about how you view people of color or people in minority neighborhoods?
Well, if I go back and look at my time in office, the one thing that I'm really worried about, embarrassed about, was how it turned out with stop and frisk. When I got into office, there were 650 murders a year in New York City. And I thought that my first responsibility was to give people the right to live. That's the basic right of everything. And we adopted a policy which had been in place, the policy that all big police departments use of stop and frisk. What happened, however, was it got out of control. And when I discovered that we were doing too many stop and frisks, we cut 95% of it out. And I've sat down with a bunch of African-American clergy and business people to talk about this, to try to learn. I've talked to a number of kids who'd been stopped. And I was trying to understand how we change our policies so we can keep the city safe, because the crime rate did go from 650, 50% down to 300. And we have to keep the lid on crime, but we cannot go out and stop people indiscriminately.
Mayor, thank you. Let me go to Vice President Biden on this. You want to respond to that?
Yes, let's get something straight. The reason the stop and frisk changed is because Barack Obama sent moderators to see what was going on. When we sent them there to say this practice has to stop, the mayor thought it was a terrible idea we send them there. A terrible idea. Let's get the facts straight. Let's get the order straight. And it's not whether he apologized or not. It's the policy. The policy was abhorrent, and it was, in fact, a violation of every right people have. And we are the one. Our administration sent in people to monitor it, and at the very time, the mayor argued against that. This idea that he figured out it was a bad idea. He figured out it was a bad idea after we sent in monitors and said it must stop. Even then, he continued the policy.
All right, Mayor, would you like to make a quick response to that?
Yes, I would. I've sat, I've apologized, I've asked for forgiveness, but the bottom line is that we stopped too many people, but the policy, we stopped too many people, and we've got to make sure that we do something about criminal justice in this country. There is no great answer to a lot of these problems, and if we took off everybody that was wrong off this panel, everybody that was wrong on criminal justice at some time in their careers, there'd be nobody else up here.
And, Senator Warren.
Let's be clear.
Well, maybe that's because they're all white.
Sorry.
I do think that this really is about leadership and accountability. When the mayor says that he apologized, listen very closely to the apology. The language he used is about stop and frisk. It's about how it turned out. Now, this isn't about how it turned out. This is about what it was designed to do to begin with. It targeted communities of color. It targeted black and brown men from the beginning. And if you want to issue a real apology, then the apology has to start with the intent of the plan as it was put together and the willful ignorance day by day by day of admitting what was happening, even as people protested in your own street, shutting out the sounds of people telling you how your own policy was breaking their lives. You need a different apology.
Senator,
here,
thank
Mr.
you.
Mayor.
Chuck?
I thought it was excellent points. So what do you think about Bloomberg's apology? I thought that last point she made was excellent because he's trying to, it's a halfway apology. He's not really apologizing. He's apologizing for the result of it. But from the beginning, everybody knew the intent. It was targeting black people, people of color, like she said, black men. That's what it was targeting. That's what it was created to do. So if you're going to apologize, you got to apologize for the whole shorty doo-wop. But that's hard to do. Because once he apologizes for it, that means he acknowledges that he intended a law enforcement strategy that was designed to single out people of color. And ain't no coming back from that. Ain't no coming back from that one. But what do you think? You heard at least Bloomberg from last night. Then you heard Joe Biden talk about it from the Obama administrative perspective of how they sent in monitors and Bloomberg still wouldn't give it up. I remember all of this like it was just yesterday. In fact, that all resonates as being true to my general recollection, without having every single article up in front of me. That seems to resonate true to me. How should we as black people dissect this? Because I know everybody's on that anybody but Trump. I don't believe I understand it. I get it. But I think that we can be a bit more intelligent than just that. We can be a little bit more choosy than just anybody but Trump. Trump's a buffoon. He's very erratic, but to some degree, we kind of know where he's coming from. If Bloomberg becomes the president as a Democrat candidate, will he become basically a wolf in sheep's clothing for the same type of predatory special interest and policy that ignores our interest? But now he's doing it under the Democrat flag. I mean, what will be the difference? I want to get your thoughts on it. Of course, you can share your thoughts. I know many of you might be at work right now, 513-873-7134. So just a little bit of it. That's not even how it started. It started with a shebang. It started from the jump in the first minute. Ding, ding. They left, man, it was Rocky Balboa out there. Apollo Creed. They was throwing haymakers. And again, we expected this. We knew this was going to happen. Oh, you going to buy your way onto the stage? You know, you're going to try to bypass the people. We're not going to discuss all your issues. Everybody's been talking about my dirt. So now we're going to talk about your dirt. Mr. $30 billion man. We're going to talk about your dirt a little bit. And that they did. What'd you think about Bernie Sanders last night? People are saying that Warren was the winner. Where does that place Bernie Sanders, who is, in terms of delegates, I think is tied with Buttigieg, or second at the very least. Do I even need to mention Amy Klobuchar? I mean, she's there, so we'll get to it. But here's what happened within the first minute.
Arrogant billionaire for another.
We shouldn't have to choose between one candidate who wants to burn this party down and another candidate who wants to buy this party out.
I'm a philanthropist who
He worked on that.
didn't inherit his money, but made his money. And I'm spending that money to get rid of Donald Trump.
Mike Bloomberg owns more wealth than the bottom 125 million Americans. That's wrong. That's immoral.
So Mike Bloomberg.
So, damn, I didn't know that. He's got more wealth than 125 million Americans? But see, in our capitalistic society where everybody wants more and more and more, everybody wants to live in a big house. Everybody wants more. What's more than having one big house? Oh, you got a vacation home. Well, what's better than having a big house and a vacation home? Well, having a vacation home outside of the continental United States. We got a vacation home in Belize. More and more and more. Money, money, money. You know, we live in a culture where if you got money, all of a sudden you like a star because you're rich. And that's how they get us, man. I think that we can do a better job of distributing the wealth where you're always going to have people that make more money through luck, ingenuity, hard work, or a combination of both. And luck can be birthright. You know, you're born into money. You know what I'm saying? Like Trump was. Like a lot of folks was. You know, Trump was born into money, blew it several times, filing bankruptcy. Like, how do you go broke on a casino? I thought casinos always make money. I mean, even in the movie Casino, sure, they effed up the politics with the gangster stuff, but the casino continued. How you lose money on a casino? Suckers putting quarters in slots 24/7. You got 2,000 slot machines. How the hell can you lose money? But he did. I think he did it a couple times, speaking of Donald Trump. I want to talk about this whole thing about the morality of having billionaires because I think there's something there. And, you know, I think that the high concentration of wealth that we have in the hands of just so few in a society that's based upon the different, you know, value system that we have can be looked upon as a moral thing. Man, you got some folks out there that can't even afford, that work their ass off and can't afford to get sick one time, lose the job, it's over. Good, honest, God-fearing people. Maybe they didn't go to college. Maybe they didn't come up with the next $1 billion idea. You know what I'm saying? But this whole idea that if you work hard in America, you just grind, and one day you'll be a billionaire. I mean, it's possible because people do it. Very few, though. Like, do you got a better shot of getting to the NBA and being a starter for the NBA or becoming a billionaire? Or even, let's say, a millionaire? All I'm saying is, think about it from a Cincinnati perspective. What is the likelihood that you can be born into modesty and you can rise? I don't know. I think there's something there. But let me go back to the phones for the first time. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, comrade.
Hey, what up? Black Russia.
What's going on?
What's up, man? So you got a chance to watch the debate last night?
I did watch the debate last night. The Democrats are in desperation mode. That's how I took that was my overall theme of the debate. They are desperate. And I say that because of the way they came out and attacked Bloomberg. Now, it was expected that it was going to be some of that going on, but I got to say, I didn't expect it out the gate. Like, out the gate, they just started throwing haymakers at Bloomberg.
I did. I wasn't surprised by it. because
out the gate though.
Yeah, out the gate. Out the gate. So I figured that whoever was standing next to him, and I didn't know the lineup, was going super hard because all eyes was on Bloomberg. If Bloomberg wasn't rising in the polls, he would have been less of a target. But right now, he's trending ahead of some of these other candidates that's been in this game for over a year. So you knew they was going to go straight for the jugular. Plus, he's open to these attacks.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I expected an attack. It's just in the first 5 minutes, I just didn't see it. I thought they were going to try to ease into it, but it showed desperation, especially from the folks who launched the attacks. Because you see, Bernie was really cool. Like Bernie talked like he talked, but he didn't come across as desperate because he's the front runner now. So he didn't have to really hit Bloomberg very hard. He tapped him a little bit, but like Klobuchar and Warren and Biden, the second tier, they're considered. It's crazy that we're saying Joe Biden's a second tier candidate again, but he is. It's just it reeked of they're desperate. They see them about their window is slowly closing because they're running out of money and. The way they just attacked Bloomberg, it was a lack of ideas on the stage. To me, it was just like, all right, it's looking more and more like Donald Trump's going to win this race after last night.
Really?
That's how I felt. I watched it. I'm like, man, Donald Trump going to mess around and get a second term. I thought that was in question. But after last night, I'm just like, they're all too desperate. The only one that's cool is Bernie, and he's the front runner. And, I support Bernie Sanders. Not sure how many people are going to actually support him in the general if he's the nominee. Because the middle of the road establishment Democrats absolutely hate Bernie Sanders. They're out here bashing him every day. But at the end of the day, I watched that debate last night. I said, man, Trump going to win again. I'm convinced he's going to win again. I'd be shocked if he didn't win again.
I read some news report. Not sure where it was from. It was from a credible source, one of the main sources like ABC. One of those traditional TV sources, should I say. But anyway, apparently behind closed doors, Obama has said that if Bernie becomes the candidate, that he's going to go out there and run hard for him. That'll go a long way.
Yeah. He's the president, so he's the former president, so he's gonna go out there and stomp for the nominee. He did the same thing for Hillary Clinton, and we still seen how that turned out. So it's not that Obama's going to lose his luster, whether Bernie Sanders wins or loses if he's the nominee, because he ain't lose any when Hillary lost. I'm just, the Democratic field I thought it was going to be stronger than this, and they look desperate, man. They look weak. They look desperate. I'm just like, man, Trump going to win again. Like you said, like Trump has absolutely turned the whole political world on his head by how he does business and politics. He's the most transactional politician that I've ever seen, and actually gets results in his transactions. Like he's keeping he's keeping every Trump supporter from watching the debate by having his own rally, so that they're not even influenced by the debate. Like open-minded people usually want to hear it from the other side. His folks is like, man, we don't even want it. We want to hear what Trump got to say. We don't even care what the Democrats are saying. They are locked in. And the Democrats is over here scrambling, yelling at each other about who got the most money. And, it's like, it's just like, to me, it was like, man, Trump going to win again after that debate last night. I'm so like, Trump's going to win again.
Well, I hope that, I'm not sure if it's confirmed already, but I hope that Mike Bloomberg is in South Carolina during the next debates. I think it'll keep it spicy.
But he's going to get toe up. I mean, on stop and frisk, he's going to get killed. But he's going to, he's going to get toe up. I mean, he's not going to, I think he won't finish top 3 in South Carolina. He won't finish top 3. Well, after last night, go ahead.
We'll get a sense of how black voters in South Carolina feel about Bernie and Warren and all these other candidates in South Carolina. And, you know what I'm saying? We'll finally get that chance.
I think we're going to definitely see how black folks feel about Pete Buttigieg.
I don't think there's much, man. He out here fabricating endorsements. Did you read that article?
Nah, who he said?
Oh my God, I read it just tore him apart, man. So apparently, it's happened like at least twice during the campaign where, he shook somebody's hand, and then his campaign puts out some kind of media saying he got an endorsement, and it's all been with black folks. So he was talking with some black business owners trying to shake their hand, and next thing they know, they read that they gave some kind of endorsement, and then had to reach out to his campaign and ask for a retraction. So that tells me that Buttigieg has no relationship with the black community and is struggling on how to get one.
Man, he got zero. I mean, that's crazy. So if you were a black dude, you shook hands with Pete Buttigieg, you basically endorsed him.
Yeah,
that's how he basically played it.
Yeah. I mean, it's along that lines. Yeah, so they had like a little meet and greet or something at a black-owned restaurant. All of a sudden, the restaurant owner is giving an endorsement. It was something on that lines, and it happened a couple times.
You gotta be.
I found the article. I found the article and I put it in there. And people can check it out for themselves.
Find that. I'm gonna try to find that too. That's crazy, man. But see, it goes back to what I'm saying. This is why Donald Trump will mess around and win again. I mean, Buttigieg is like supposed to be one of the top tier candidates, according to the delegate count. And he out here doing stuff like this. I mean, it's crazy, man. Bernie the best shot, but if it's not Bernie, I'm going with Trump again anyway. That's just my position. But
so no Warren?
I can't do Warren. Can't do it. She fabricates stuff too. I mean, I like her. She's brilliant. I read a lot of her textbooks in law school, but man, she fabricated the fact that she was a minority of color, Native American. Come on, bro.
I mean, that's not good. I don't understand the fabrications. Just keep it real. That way you ain't got to remember no lies and remember what you said to this person. Just keep it 100 with everybody, and there it is. But that's not like stop and frisk level, though.
No, it's not. No, it's not stop and frisk level. I just feel like Bernie's been the most consistent, and it's like this. His consistency is unmatched by any of these candidates. At some point in time, the rest of these candidates, besides Bernie Sanders, has done some shady stuff or said some shady stuff, or it's just to me, it's like it just leaves a bad taste in my mouth. Then, especially in 2016, when I wanted Bernie Sanders to be the nominee, and then they played one of the super delegates, and I was just like, I can't roll with Hillary. I'm what maybe call me a Bernie bro, dude. I'm just like that. Like I just can't. And these other candidates, man, I just can't fool with them. I like what Warren got to say, but I don't think she could beat Trump. I'm just flabbergasted, bro, by the Democratic Party. It's like they talk about they got such this deep bench. I'm still looking for that.
It's not deep. They got a whole lot of white folks that's representing the exact same thing over and over again. It's like carbon copies. It ain't deep at all.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Ain't deep at all. It's slim pickings out there.
Man, I'm sitting there thinking about Saturday Night Live when they played Kamala Harris. Like, you could have had a bad bitch.
I didn't see that. Is that what they said?
Oh, my goodness, bro. What, they had her sipping on a martini?
Oh, I didn't see it.
Oh, yeah. You got to, that's must watch, right? Well, they be doing the spoofs on Saturday Night Live when they do the debates, right?
Right.
So there was one, like, they were doing it every week, but, like, there was one, like, 3 weeks ago where Kamala Harris just show up on stage out of nowhere with a martini in her hand. She said, you could have had a bad bitch.
That's hilarious, man. See how they do us?
Yeah, you got to see that.
Okay.
Oh, my goodness. And they are, but outside of that, it's going to be interesting to see who get on this council, too. Amy Murray seats up. They got all these applications.
Yeah, I saw, man, and no people of color. All white. I'm like this.
No, there's people of color.
That applied?
Maybe you ain't seen it. It's like 17. Like, they started with the 5, but it's 17 that actually applied.
Oh, okay.
Like
okay. Here's your reply. Okay.
Folks.
Okay, but why didn't they put them in the photograph in Cincinnati Enquirer? They only got 5 people here.
I'm not sure why they did that at first, but it's an updated article with 17 candidates. Like, WCPO got it too.
One of them is your buddy Steve.
My buddy Steve.
Steve Megley.
I mean, there's a couple Steve. Megley,
yeah.
He probably won't get it.
Whoa, Rayshawn Mack? Your other buddy.
Yeah, I got a couple buddies.
Okay. Wait a minute, Linda Matthews?
Yeah, you know who that is?
Who is that?
I'm not sure. I'm Facebook friends with her, but I don't know who she is. Like
I thought there was a Linda Matthews
that
used to come into the church. Let me look this up. Matthews. Yeah, I'm not sure. No, I'm looking at it right now. You're right here. I see Gary Favors.
Yeah.
Gary Favors. So your boy Rayshawn Mack, he's a Republican, huh?
Yeah, he is a Republican.
I see who else here? DeVoe Sherman. Young brother?
He an independent is what he says, but you know, I mean, let's be honest about the whole scenario, okay? Eddie Murray's a Republican, right?
Right.
They're probably going to pick a Republican.
Absolutely. No doubt.
So the independent dude applying, I don't think I met Mr. Sherman, but I'm not to disparage him, but like, it's a Republican seat, bro. I mean, I'm not sure if they're going to really consider you or not, but you never know.
I don't think I've ever met him either. I'm just aware. I think I see some articles. I think he's trying to do some big things for our community, so I think that's cool.
Yeah. I think I read a little bit about him.
Yeah, Rayshawn Mack. Now, was Rayshawn the one who wanted to be on the sorter board, or was that his brother?
No, that was Rayshawn.
That was Rayshawn. Oh boy, that'll be interesting if he gets on there, because he's gonna have a bone to pick with the members of the council.
Well, Rayshawn's not the type to hold grudges. He ain't that type. He ain't like Black Russia. Black Russia hold grudges. He's not like me.
I don't know, man. From some things on his Twitter feed, I don't know if that's true, but you know him better than I do. Linda Matthews.
Opinions. There's no question about that.
There was a Linda Matthews that used to be in the Chop Shop quite a bit. I wonder if that's the same one. Black female? I don't know. Steve Megley, huh?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, it could be. Steve Megley, huh? Ooh. I'm sure the other members of the council, they'll love to see him down there. They would love to see him down there.
I don't think Steve Megley is going to get the seat. I don't think so.
Let me see here. Gary Favors, huh?
That'd be interesting.
Will be interesting because he had his operation running for CPS school board. Now he wants to be So I don't know. I don't fault nobody, but it's like, do you want to be on? Do you just want to be an elected official, or do you because some people just seem to run for whatever's that's open. I'm not criticizing the brother. That's interesting.
Right. Well, Minette Cooper did that before too. She ran for school board and lost, and then ran for city council and won. So. Strange things happen. That was way back, but
some levels it makes sense. You get your feet wet with the school board. At least you know what it's like to get out there and campaign and get your operation running. And you don't win, so you still want to be an elected official.
Ozzy did the same thing. He ran for city council. He got on school board. Morosky ran for council. He lost. Got on school board. So people do it. True. Sometimes it's about being elected. Some people just look at it as service.
True. Well, this is interesting. Now I see they got some African Americans, some people of color. That's quite interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not sure who my favorite would be. I'm not sure who that would be, but I think that's quite interesting. So Amy Murray's going to make the decision along with Alex Triantafilo, probably.
No. She don't get to make the decision. Not she probably have some level of influence, but not make it. Like pastor and the vice mayor. They get to make the decision.
Yeah, but I think, I know that's the way it was set up initially, but I think I did read that, in fact, she was going to make the decision. She'd already talked to them about that, or she was going to have a heavy hand in it. I believe I read that in the Inquirer.
Ultimately, I think she's going to have some say in it. I don't know exactly how much say she's going to have, but, I'm sure she's going to have some say. I mean, she's giving up the seat, so. And, she's a Republican, so the GOP is going to have input too. So, that's how the things work. But
so Rayshawn Rayshawn is a Republican. That is confirmed.
That's my understanding.
Again, I'll say we need black Republicans that's got some damn sense and some backbone. I'm not against a black Republican at all. It depends on what they have to say. And this local Hamilton County Republican Party needs some color in it. So, we'll see. And again, you're a black Republican, man. You like a unicorn, so you're gonna get a level of attention.
You can go into spaces that other people can't operate. That's very true.
And it's almost like being a black teacher, where you become very valuable because you're rare. And if you can really put together a good image, good political base, that's highly valuable to the Republican Party because everybody knows they need to diversify. And like you said,
I would consider Jeff Pastor to be a unicorn, no question, in the political game.
Yeah, he certainly is. All right, brother. I appreciate it, man. Anything else?
All right, take it easy. Nah, that's it, bro.
All right, take it easy. That's Black Russia checking in. Interesting. Again, I don't have any malice or anything against these individuals running as Republicans. We need black Republicans with some fucking sense. It's not going to play the same old game. It's not going to wear a dress on stage and all this other kind of dumb ish and put a black face to policies that hurt black people. I ain't no problem with it. I think it's nice. It's great. They might inject a new mentality into the Hamilton County Republican bloodstream. You know what I'm saying? They don't go into the Democrat or Republican Party. You know, don't go in there wearing a dress. I only say that to, so to speak, you're willing to compromise yourself to get ahead and or compromise your community to get ahead. But if you're trying to enact some change in a serious way, why not? Why not? Heather Couch, Jacqueline Ennis, all interesting stuff here. Okay. It will be very interesting if they pick an African-American. That would be interesting. I don't know. Let's go to the phones. We got Drop on the line. What's up, Drop? Good morning. Or really good afternoon.
Good morning. well,
for you, it's morning.
It's not. Yes, sir. It's 9 a.m. out here on the left coast, also known as the People's Republic of California. Mr. Ivey, I'd like to give a shout out to the Alt Middle and the Chop Shop's number one political operative, Black Russia. And I agree with him 100% on last night's debate. And Mr. Ivey, it's pretty suspect that the Democrats last night made a bogus attempt to take out Michael Bloomberg, when we all know that the Democrats had to last night save face and make it appear as if they were attacking Mike Bloomberg and his billions of dollars. But the truth is that the Democrats need his money if Uncle Bernie, crazy Uncle Bernie, gets the nomination, because Bernie Sanders has already said that he will not take money from billionaires, Michael Bloomberg, or any other rich Democrat donor. So the Democrats going to have a problem if Bernie is the candidate and has to go up against the RNC, the Republican National Committee, and the Donald Trump Re-elect Committee, who have over $1 billion. And so, Mr. Ivey, what you witnessed last night, the so-called attacks of Michael Bloomberg weren't what they appeared to be. Because if you look at the internal numbers, last night, Michael Bloomberg spoke the least. And right ahead of him for speaking the least was Sleepy Joe Biden. And we all understand why he kept his mouth shut. And then right in the middle, you had Bernie Sanders. And then all the ladies took the top spots. And, of course, Mayor Pete, he had his little go-in with Amy Klobuchar. But Elizabeth Warren spoke the most, then Klobuchar, then Mayor Pete, then Bernie Sanders, then Joe Biden, and then Michael Bloomberg. So, Mr. Ivey, the media, the willing accomplice, the lamestream media, the willing accomplice of the desperate Democrat Party, and, of course, NBC, who hosted the debate last night, the first question read by our brother, Lester Holt, was directed to who, Mr. Ivey? Mr. Ivey, do you remember who got the first question last night?
Wasn't it Warren?
No, it was Michael Bloomberg.
Okay.
Not the front runner, Bernie Sanders. No.
NBC, it makes sense.
NBC, no. NBC couldn't have that.
What you mean?
NBC led the questioning by Lester Holt, our only brother on the panel for NBC, not Joy Reid. Shout out to Black Girl Magic. He asked Michael Bloomberg about, what he asked him about the stop and frisk. The first question.
But he should have. That makes sense.
No, Nate, he's not the front runner.
I know, but he's a strong newcomer. He's a $30 billion strong newcomer that's polling ahead of other people in polls. So, yeah, they're going to start with him. It makes sense. I would have started with him.
No,
let's get straight to it.
Mr. Ivey, the debate was in Nevada. It was in Las Vegas. He's not even on the ballot in Las Vegas. Mr. Ivey, the debate was held right before the Nevada caucus. That's the purpose of the debate, to give the caucus members one last look at the candidates. Michael Bloomberg is not even on the ballot, Mr. Ivey. So again, like I said, the lamestream media, because Michael Bloomberg, he took the black vote, the old black Negro vote, from Joe Biden. Those older black voters are now with Michael Bloomberg. So again, Mr. Ivey, the Democrat Party needed to show their constituents that, yeah, everybody's going to get vetted. We're going to check everybody who's running in our party, but they're full of crap because Michael Bloomberg, a former Republican, just recently in 2005, I think, Trust will verify, when he paid off some people, some legislators in New York so he could run for a third term. Okay, he switched from Republican to independent so he could run that third term. So now he's a Democrat. So, Mr. Ivey, the Democrats need Michael Bloomberg and his billions upon billions of dollars. And before I go, Mr. Ivey, I'm gonna give you three names: Oprah Winfrey, Michael Jordan, Sean P. Diddy Combs, Jay-Z, Hova. Those four individuals, Mr. Ivey, starting with Oprah Winfrey, who was born in 1954, and everyone else born after, mostly in the 70s or the 60s, are all now billionaires, Mr. Ivey. All black billionaires. And three of those billionaires, or two of those billionaires, P. Diddy and Jay-Z, are not even 50 years old. Well, I take that back. Jay-Z just turned 50, I think. So, Mr. Ivey, when you have the Democratic Socialist, Bernard Sanders, who is also has a net worth of $2 million and owns multiple homes, when he says that it is immoral to earn as much money as you can, and if that earning takes you into the stratosphere of a billionaire, Bernie Sanders had the audacity to tell the American people that it is immoral to have money.
That's not what he said.
And I'm telling you,
that's not what he said.
Mr. Ivey,
I know that's what the Republicans want to reduce it to. The other thing is that Mike Bloomberg is not just a billionaire. He's a multi-billionaire. He's a $36 billion man. Not just, that's a big difference. Matter. Yeah, but we got to recognize there's a huge difference between 1 billion and 36 billion, man. It is a huge difference.
It don't matter.
The facts do matter,
black,
Drop.
You're black. Barack Obama is just as black as I am, even though my mother and father are black, and his father is only black. Okay? It's the same when you reach billionaire status. Okay? It don't matter how many you got. You're a billionaire.
I disagree with you.
And in the United States of America, not Russia, not Venezuela, in the United States of America, in a capitalistic system, until it is changed, every American has the right, an inalienable right, to pursue life, liberty, and happiness. And if you need,
and you can be just happy with $1 billion. That was the point that he was making.
No, you are not. No, Mr. Ivey, you are not the arbiter of dishing out happiness. If God gives me the ability to breathe and walk this earth, I can earn as much money as I can. There is no law against it. The
question is how much. You're right.
Want to take what I earn.
Yeah, but the question is not how much you earn. It's what's the role and how much should you be taxed for the overall good of everybody. That's the real question. You can earn as much as you want to. That's not the question. Bernie Sanders not stop. He wasn't talking about the moralities of earnings. He was talking about the morality of a government that doesn't more equitably distribute this. That's what he was talking about.
No, Mr. Ivey, that's called confiscation of a citizen's wealth. That's what they do in socialist countries, which is what Bernie Sanders wants to make
this
America.
is a socialist country. Aren't you getting Social Security?
I paid for that.
Yeah, but you're getting it, though.
I paid into it.
Yes, but you got it, and you enjoy it. Correct?
No, Mr. Ivey. First of all, I do not collect Social Security until I turn age 62, which is in another 3 years. So, Mr. Ivey, I paid money out of my tax withholding to my own Social Security, okay?
Right.
Medicare, which is given to Americans who turn 65, they pay for that. That's why you don't get full coverage when you hit Medicare 65 age. You have to buy supplemental insurance. So you can't say that those two government entitlements are socialism. Wrong.
Yeah.
You, as the citizen, contribute to it.
But that's why I say the issue is not what you earn, it's what you tax. So when it comes to Social Security, as I understand it, you only have to pay into it on a certain amount of the money that you make. People that's making millions upon millions of dollars a year, they're not paying the entire equitable fair share of that into the Social Security system. They're only being taxed to a limit. And that's what Bernie is talking about, the morality of how we distribute this via our government. Earn as much as you can. But if you're earning a whole lot, yes, sir. You did realize that, right?
Socialism is what the government gives you.
No.
Social Security.
No.
You catch that second word? Security is contributed by the citizen. Now, if you've never had a job, of course you don't put in the Social Security. And it is an entitlement. I mean, it's just how it is in America. If you're a child and your parents pass away, you collect Social Security. But if you're a working American like I am, I paid into Social Security, Mr. Ivey. That's my money.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So don't tell me that Social Security is socialism. It's not.
Okay.
Medicare is not socialism.
Okay.
You pay for that coverage while you're working.
Okay. I think
again, Mr.
to get back to what Bernie was saying, I think the point he was trying to make, and I agree with this, is that if people are concerned about, just to make it real simple, hyper-concentrated poverty,
right,
then we got to deal with it by dealing with hyper-concentrated wealth. Period, point blank.
Okay.
Now,
Mr.
whether
Ivey,
that's whether that's renegotiating our tax system so that people that make millions upon millions of dollars end up paying more, or that's rethinking the type of income, because wealthy people ain't out here working, they making their income because the money's sitting somewhere. Are we taxing that at a fair level?
Yes.
Right? To make sure that the government coffers are full and that the government can do what it needs for the rest of the people. I mean, this is what I think that this is what I believe that Bernie was trying to get at. And conceptually, I agree with him.
Okay, that's fine. Then you vote for him. But I'm telling you, Mr. Ivey, there are a lot of Americans out here who are informed, who are knowledgeable,
and delusional.
Not saying that you're not, and not saying that you're not, but as time goes on, and when Bernie Sanders has an opponent that he has to face on stage, in campaign ads, in debates, in rallies, we all know what his opponent is about. We all know his opponent has unlimited funds. We all know that his opponent is the first gangster president this country has ever had.
He is.
And we both know
the head of the Trump crime family.
Bernie Sanders' early days as a young 30-something-year-old community organizer activist has ties to communism.
Communism.
Okay, he has ties.
Okay.
He has ties to socialism. And
I'm more concerned with authoritarianism like we have right now with Donald Trump.
No, Mr. Ivey, the whole thing is to convince voters to either vote for your candidate or vote against the other guy. We know that's all politics is, Mr. Ivey. So that's why I'm telling you, that's why Michael Bloomberg was, for one, on the stage yesterday, and two, the reason he got attacked by the fake, phony, desperate Democrats. And again, shout out to the alt middle, and shout out to the number one political operative in the chop shop, not the overseer, because he just follow orders to go catch the 4 or 5 black people that leave the Democrats, and he got to try to pull them back. I don't know why. I don't know how he was the chosen one to do it, but for some reason, he feels he has to do it. So, Mr. Ivey, again, before I go, sir, it's a pleasure to listen to you, and I got to get ready to go do my walking while I retire because I want to stay healthy, because all you can do is do your best, and the rest is in God's hands. But, again, Mr. Ivey, good to hear you midday, 9 o'clock out here in California, and it's a little past noon in the Queen City. But, Mr. Ivey, I'm not predicting Donald Trump is going to win, but last night, Mr. Ivey, in Phoenix, Arizona, I think that's where he was last night, 67,000 people bought tickets to see him, Mr. Ivey. 67,000. And they're registering people. They're collecting data from people, but the media won't report it. Like they didn't report the black guy who was released from prison.
But how do you know about
the same day?
If the media is not reporting it, how do you know about it?
I know about it because of social media and because of the internet and because of this little small computer that I hold in my hand right now.
So the media is reporting it?
No. You know what media I'm talking about, Mr. Ivey? The lamestream media.
Oh,
I'm not talking about New Black Media. I'm not talking about the official websites. I'm not talking about the Twitter accounts. I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about the mainstream media who puts the news out for the people, who still actually look for it from them. But again, they've been exposed too. So again, Mr. Ivey, I appreciate your analysis of the debate last night, but when Bernie Sanders, if he gets the nomination, Mr. Ivey, the Democrat Party's in trouble because he's not going to be able to raise the money unless he becomes a hypocrite again and all of a sudden start taking money from the big donors like Mike Bloomberg. So we're going to see what happens, not in Nevada, but we're going to find out when Mike Bloomberg is on the ballot. Because I'm telling you, the black vote that left Sleepy Joe Biden, and like you said, Nate, Mr. Biden is getting kind of slow. He can't even put a whole sentence together without stumbling, bumbling, and fumbling. So,
stumbling, bumbling, fumbling. Okay.
So before I go, Mr. Ivey, I just want to say, it's not how you start, it's how you finish. Drop Squad 52, dropping science to anyone who wants to catch it. Peace out.
Appreciate it. We'll go ahead and rack them. Appreciate it. The funniest meme I've seen this morning, I'm not sure who posted this inside of the Friends page, but I appreciate it. It's an image from a scene in a movie called Trading Places starring Eddie Murphy. It's a great movie, by the way. Not just because Eddie was good at it and funny, hilarious, but because of the overall point it was trying to make. You know, this whole nature versus nurture argument. It's just the nature of black folks. It's not the way it's not the environment. It's the way they grow up. It's in them. But anyway, so it's a scene. You might remember the scene where they had first picked up Eddie Murphy off the street. He was like a grifter, con man, something like that. And so the two, what was it? Mortimer and I'm drawing a blank here. I'm like Amy Klobuchar on the Mexico president's name. What's the two brothers' name? Mortimer and I know some pop culture connoisseurs out there. Help me out. But the caption reads, Mike Bloomberg and Donald Trump reaching out to black voters. In the movie, and hence the name Trading Places, essentially these two white guys decide to do a social experiment. And so they wanted to see if they could take a rich white guy, played by Dan Aykroyd, and he was like this blue blood. Randolph, thank you, Casper. Randolph and Mortimer. They wanted to see if they could, if they took a white guy born with a silver spoon in his mouth and took everything from him, and they took a black dude from the streets, a con artist, and then gave him the same opportunities, what would happen? And Eddie Murphy used his street smarts and started to flourish in his new job as a, commodities future analyst, something like that. But enough of me. Let's go straight back to the phones. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
What's going on, Nate?
Hey, Glenn. I'm doing great. Welcome.
Eddie was a commodities trader. You're absolutely right.
Right. That's what I thought.
It's funny. If that film was made today, I can hear Drop and others on the alt-right and the conservative right saying that this was the mainstream media pushing a propaganda, making the white man look bad so he can bring up, a minority, a protective class. Nate, the reason why I was calling it, first of all, man, you don't know how much you're a part of our mornings, man, when you're not there. I mean, I couldn't wait for you to come on today. And we did that while you were sick, man. So
I appreciate it.
You're an important part of our every morning. But Nate, let me say this. I listen to Black Rush and I listen to Drop. And for two guys that call themselves political paws, the insiders, they know the ins and outs of politics. If you didn't know that Mayor Bloomberg was going to be attacked last night during the debate, you haven't been paying attention, Nate. Because that's the reason, and I haven't seen the stats, the ratings, but I guarantee you that was probably the most watched Democratic debate out of all the debates. And guess why? Because the guy that was rising the fastest, the guy that had all the commercials out there, the guy that did all the commercials without having to speak in front of people and debate others, he was on the stage last night. Who didn't know that, Nate, other than Black Russia and Drop?
Again, for me, I understood it from the jump. Wasn't surprised that the first question went to him. Wasn't surprised they went at him at the very beginning. Because why wait? Why be fake about it?
Right.
Let's get straight to it.
Right. And that's another thing that kills me now. And you kind of caught Drop, but he didn't catch that he got caught. But he talks about the mainstream media and how they'll never tell the story about Donald Trump in his rally last night. And you asked him, where did he get the information? Where did he get it from? The media. And he talks about the mainstream media.
Right.
The people that got the common sense out there. Drop, I actually did a Google search while you were talking to Nate. And Drop, you were caught lying again. There were like over 1 million freaking results, Nate, from the rally last night. Talking about it. And by the way, 67,000 people bought tickets to a place that seats 12,000 people? 18,000 people. I mean, he didn't have it at a stadium, did he?
I am not sure where he had it last night. Let me check it out. It was the Phoenix rally.
I mean, because, Nate, that fact checkers have gone back after, Trump says 100,000 people showed up, but he had it at the Woodward Gym,
right.
That type shit. I mean, really.
Oh, that's hilarious at the Woodward Gym.
Right. And more stories came out. Remember the guy from Cincinnati who had the drug problem? He got his stuff back together. That story turned out not to be true. Remember the little black girl in Philadelphia that got the scholarship and everything, despite the fact that, as the story comes out, she's actually going to one of the best schools in Philadelphia right now, and they don't even take scholarships.
Uh-huh.
I mean, all this is coming out. Cincinnati is, and I don't want to dog the brother out from right here in the area, but, it took him 5 days to say, nah, baby, nah, that's not exactly what happened. So, Drop is, like I said, I call him the Baghdad Bob of the chop shop. Because that's exactly what, it's like, Baghdad Bob when he's like, oh, we still got control of our countries, and he got so many red dots on him, it looked like he got on a red leotard. I mean, and he still said everything is okay. As far as the debate concerned, Nate, I thought one of the biggest winners actually last night was Elizabeth Warren. I thought she came through strong. I think she had to because she went for about a 2-month span of trying to catch the Bernie vote or get them to come along with her because they thought that Bernie would be, too far to the left and that I'm more reasonable. I think she just threw that out the window. I think what we saw with Amy Klobuchar, her and Pete don't get along. I don't know if it's because they're going after the same people or what, but she got a little indignant last night. And for people that, are my Facebook friends, they don't know if you follow me, man, but I was giving blow by blow it seemed like every half an hour last night on the show, on the debate last night.
Yeah, I definitely follow you. Oh, for sure.
Oh, okay. So, yeah, I wish Drop was one of the followers out there so we can have this debate, but he likes to hide on social media and throw up little whack-ass 5-second videos that, you have to repeat just to watch. But, yeah, I just had to call in, man, because, again, if you didn't know that Bloomberg was going to get all the smoke last night, then you weren't paying attention. Hell, all yesterday, all we talked about was anticipation of seeing how he would react in his very first debate, I think since 2005, something ridiculous like that. So, you know how I do it, man. Last night was like the first day of school, Nate. Hell, I'm more interested in the post-debate discussions that go on as much as the debate that goes on last night. But, man, I'm sitting here on my lunchtime. I got about 12 minutes left. So, you know what it is, man. At the end of the day, I just hope they're getting what I'm spitting. That's easy. I'm out.
Take it easy. We'll go ahead and rack them, too. That's Glenn from Mason. Pretty funny meme I saw within the last, I'd say, hour, posted by Robert Anthony. It reads at the top, Bloomberg be like, and there's a blue cat. It's all blue. And it reads, Make America Great Again. I love the age that we live in. Let's put it that way. I love the age that we live in. 100%. Good morning to you. Oh, excellent. Oh, great pictures. Great pictures. Looking forward to it. Great look. Been good out there, Eb G. You know I like it. So what is this? This is going back a couple days. This is from Tamaya Denard. I'm going back a couple days here. I've been forgetting to read this, but remember when I asked a question about what was the status of Tamaya Denard's motion to City Council asking that the city of Cincinnati reconsider using the United Way to distribute the human service funding dollars? Well, she posted this. Many of you have probably already seen it. But she posted policy update. A few months ago, I introduced a motion to City Council that asked the city of Cincinnati to reconsider using the United Way to distribute our human service funding dollars. I just said that. I didn't do it because I have a problem with the United Way necessarily. I did it because not enough black-led and small nonprofits are seeing financial support from our city dollars by way of the United Way. Mayor Cranley and Councilmember Mann created legislation that would give the allocation responsibility back to the United Way. I oppose that. However, I do support allowing the United Way to allocate the dollars one more year while we come up with a process informed by the organizations and the people being served by these organizations. I support the 1-year extension because I don't want to see an interruption of services for anyone who relies on the human services funds. My colleague Greg Landsman has created some legislation to streamline the process. If we allocate the funds from City Hall, I'm still working through this legislation. I don't agree with everything, but I'm still reading and thinking about the implications of his process for everyone. So just so you have an update on that. Somebody writes, from my understanding, the 1-year extension is also because no organization wants the responsibility. Is that right? Is that right? You tell me. 513-873-7134. Again, if you'd like to share your thoughts, feel free to do so. What is that? That's hilarious. That is hilarious. That is hilarious. All right, back to your chat. But before we do that, I need to take a quick pause for the calls. We'll come right back. This is the Nathan Ivey Show, live, local, and vocal. Of course, powered by Sin Digital Media. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
With the Bloomberg Urban Report, I'm Donna Wilson. It's Black History Month, and on this day in 1895, the abolitionist Frederick Douglass died at the age of 78. Moody Nolan is the country's largest African-American-owned architecture firm. Headquartered in Columbus, Ohio, it was founded in 1982 by architect Curtis J. Moody. He started the firm because of his passion to change the landscape within the field of architecture. Currently, there's less than 2% of African-American architects. Over the course of nearly 38 years, Moody Nolan has built corporate structures, education, sports, healthcare, retail, and mixed-use facilities. And what more can LeBron James do? The NBA champ, philanthropist, and Hollywood producer is adding children's book author to his many accomplishments. HarperCollins has inked a 2-book deal with James. That's your Bloomberg Urban Report. I'm Donna Wilson.
Dear John, I was hoping it wouldn't come to this, but you've left me no choice. I'm leaving. Uncontrolled high blood pressure is really serious, and lately you seem to really not care. I've been there for you since day one, and I know you think I'm gonna keep ticking. But no, my friend, I can quit whenever I want. Why can't we get back to the good times, when we were more active and ate more healthy foods, and you checked on me every once in a while? Is that too much to ask? I don't want to leave, but unless you stop ignoring me, what else am I supposed to do? Remember, when I quit, you quit. Sincerely, your heart.
Listen to your heart. Don't let it quit on you. Doing the minimum to control your high blood pressure isn't doing enough. High blood pressure can lead to a stroke, heart attack, or death. Get your blood pressure to a healthy range before it's too late. Find out how at heart.org/blood pressure. Check, change, control. A message from the American Heart Association, the American Stroke Association, and the Ad Council.
Good morning, Choppers. Now, tomorrow, as I said, we're going to be joined by Amber Shula Israel. She's a registered nurse, case manager, community health educator, along with Cam and the owners of EMET Med Healthcare Services. And they're going to come and talk about heart health. Of course, February is, what is it? It's Heart Health Month, I believe. And I'm looking forward to that. I've told people about my own, issues. And so now I believe it is my mission to share that with my audience, to share that with the community, to make sure that we can be as healthy as possible. And welcome back. Welcome back. That'll be at about 9 a.m. approximately tomorrow morning. Don't miss it. Don't miss it. I'm looking forward to it. I want all the information. Did you hear about this rapper? His name is Pop Smoke. Apparently he was shot and killed in Los Angeles. What makes it even more interesting is that 8 hours before he was killed in a home invasion, he had posted an Instagram video where he was showing off, I guess, some new bags or something like that. He had been shopping or did some shopping online. They dropped off at the house. And he inadvertently, because on the side of the bag, it had the address to where it was shipped to. He inadvertently had put that out on Instagram. So now people are connecting the dots. And it's like, some people was like, oh, that's where he at? And 8 hours later went over there to rob him and shot and killed him. I never even knew Pop Smoke existed, but apparently he was big enough to be to make the radar screen, so to speak, after his death. And it just undermines, man, there's some people out there that do you dirty. Be careful about the information that you put out on social media, the videos you put out, because, motherfucker might be this way. Oh, okay. They might come case your house. They might think you got something worth stealing. Pop Smoke's real name was Bashar Baraka Jackson. And I don't know, man, if your name is Bashar Baraka Jackson, I mean, you might just want to rock that Baraka. No MC, no DJ, just Baraka. Like what? 20 years old, he was an up-and-coming rapper from Brooklyn. He was in Hollywood Hills. And two men wearing hoodies and face masks broke into his house. And then, shot and killed him and ran away. Like, for me, the robbery is one thing. The murder, now you didn't turn this into something that it never really had to be. You're going to go in there and rob the dude. You shouldn't be doing that. Go in there and rob him. Pistol whip him, do whatever you got to do. But you out here robbing and shooting folks? Well, I like to say they're going to shoot you or hunt you down, but this is a brother, by the way. Has anybody been arrested in the murder of Tupac or Biggie? Nope. So, and almost all of the websites I've gone to, like these mainstream political websites, they're saying that Mike Bloomberg was the biggest loser of Las Vegas. And that seems to be the general consensus because he just really had no answers for some of the questions that was put to him. And when you start talking about these non-disclosure agreements and some of the things that he said to women and things like that, as I said to you earlier, somebody brought it up like, this dude has no chill. Apparently he said to one woman that was working for him, I'm ready. Let's go. Love to get some of that. Something to that effect. And again, the reason, ladies, you ever had men just shoot these lame ass lines at you or had a guy who was super forward? He just went straight forward. And maybe it turned you off. It depends on whether you like him or not. I know how it works. If you think he's attractive, it's all good. I get it. And again, just to reiterate, somebody gonna fall for it. Somebody fell for that Bloomberg line. Somebody fell for it. Like, I feel the same way with Mr. Bloomberg. She's like 26 years old. Yeah, okay, cool. Sure you did. Sure you did. I mean, can you imagine? Could you imagine? Black Russia writes, Bloomberg just moments ago admitted Trump won last night, probably because Bloomberg got his ass handed to him. Mason Mahler writes, Bloomberg, I got money in the bank. Shorty, what you drank? Black Russia writes, winning debates doesn't equate to moving vote. Bernie's still in pole position. Miss D writes, Sonny Hoskins over Gayle King all day after that thrashing she gave Klobuchar, LOL. I'm with you on that as well. How did Gayle King, I guess it's a CBS thing. If we had to have one black female, I would have chosen Gayle King. I don't have anything against her. I would have chose like a Joy Reid or who else would I choose? I mean, if I really want to go deep into the bag a little bit, I'd choose like an Angela Rye. Some of y'all don't like that. At least one of y'all. His name is Fame. Brenda writes, happy Thursday. Cam writes, the main question is which of the candidates will win the popular vote and the electoral college? If I was a gambling man, I would put my money on Bloomberg. Ray writes, Roland too emotional. He can get emotional. But see, what I like about Roland is that I believe that Roland will ask the tough questions, and then if they give him some yabba dabba do, will follow up. I could be wrong about that, but that's my general perception. Especially at this point because he's doing his own thing. That's precisely why you don't see Roland, because Roland's not affiliated with any of the big corporate media sponsors that's doing it. So they can't pull his chain. If Roland was on there, Roland works for himself. He does a Roland Martin Digital Daily Show. If they don't like it, they can kiss his ass. So you're not going to probably see that. CG Duck writes, Joe needed a few sips of water. Casper writes, Gayle is now a sympathetic figure. F her. I suspect that Gayle is going to go hard so she can reclaim her black card. That's what I think. She's going to go hard in South Carolina on the 25th. That's just 5 days away. Iris writes, good morning, great people. Hey, good to see you, Iris. Good to see you. We haven't talked about it, but there was a tragedy. These gun violence tragedies continue to happen here in the city of Cincinnati within the last 24 hours. Not good. Not good at all. People say, well, why are you, why all this gun violence? Because, why we got so much gun violence? Because people haven't figured out how to have disagreements without it turning to being deadly. That's what it comes down to. I mean, you can disagree about anybody, about anything. If it's just a disagreement and no real physical harm has been made, that's different. But what do you think about the new body camera technology that the city of Cincinnati police officers are going to be wearing now? Hold on, I'm getting crazy messages. Who is this? I'll read that in a second. Let me go straight to the phone calls. Yeah, the city of Cincinnati has new camera technology. They can live stream now. They can live stream. Do you think that that's going to bring more accountability for the citizens and more safety for citizens when you're dealing with an officer? I'll give you some of the details in a second, but let's go to the phones. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Hey, good morning.
What up? What up? Who am I speaking with?
This is Jay.
Jay, what's up, Jay?
I'm new. I was an old fan and just, got back in the swing of things. And
okay.
I say thank you for everything, I called you at the old station a while back about Nas' baby mama. It was a while back, but I've been following you and just getting back in the swing of things.
Okay. Welcome, Jay.
And, hey, thank you. But not Black Lion, Black Russian. Yeah, I agree with him, man. I agree with everything he's saying. He's been spitting knowledge the last couple of days. He's been calling in because I'm catching up on the shows on Spreakers. But he's been spitting some knowledge. I like his flow, man. He's pretty cool with it. And I do agree with him. I think Trump is going to mess around and win again. Let me just give you a background. I'm young. I got a family. And I just started paying attention to taxes, politicians, and all that stuff. So, I'm learning. And I realized that I voted for Barack because he was only black. I really didn't understand nothing he was talking about. I just voted because he was a black man. And now I'm doing my research. These other politics, like, the other people that's going against Trump, I really don't understand them, man. I really don't trust them. At least Trump is going to say what he is going to do. I think sometimes we get a little sensitive for what he says. He's just real, and I think a lot of people are intimidated with that because a lot of these politics is real fake. Barack, I really didn't like Barack. The way he just, separated that LGBT community, I really just didn't agree with that. It just...
Oh, Jay got cut off, man. Damn, Jay. Well, listen, man, you got cut off. Call me back, and I'll put you straight back on. It was not me. I had no hands on anything, but that was Jay reconnecting with the show, getting to know the whole thing when it comes to politics. So, Jay, if you're listening, man, and you're in a place, please call back in. I'll put you straight back on. I did not cut you off. He says he agrees with Black Russia and is afraid that Trump might get in there again. Says that he voted for Barack primarily because he was black, didn't really understand, and felt like he was pushing a gay agenda ahead of everything else. I've heard that before. I'm not here to contradict anybody's opinion about that because we know what it was. Now, it's a bit deeper in terms of who had control of the House and the Senate and all that kind of stuff, but it is what it is. Most recently, I reposted something that I had posted a while ago inside the Friends page on Facebook, and essentially it was like 28 things that Barack Obama accomplished, just so we can all speak from facts, okay? But I'm not sure if Jay's going to get a chance to go back in. Let me go back to what I was saying here. So local activists weighed in on the new police body camera technology. And they caught up with Joe Mallory with the Truth to Power podcast, your Cincinnati NAACP. And the new technology will provide the public with a sharper image of police and public relations. Cincinnati Police new Axon, AXON, Body 3 cameras will be equipped with GPS tracking and the ability to live stream. The new technology will cost the city $24 million over the next 10 years. So I'm all for cameras that actually are sharper images, better audio, the GPS technology, making sure we can keep track of our officers. Perhaps you got an officer who's down, who can't respond. They can locate them. That all sounds good to me. The live streaming ability of it, okay, when you're going to live stream to Facebook. I do like the live stream ability because to me, here's the way I think, and it costs lots of money and nobody is willing to either look for the money or invest in the money. But to me, I like the idea of body cam, but we already know that body cam don't keep nobody safe. We've seen officers who later ended up getting fired, brutalizing citizens all over the country on body cam. Motherfuckers getting shot in the face, getting shot in the back on body cam. So just having the body cam in and of itself doesn't always stop it. Now, on the other side, we've seen officers go to jail and or to be brought to some level of justice because of the body cam. But for me, I've always thought that for body cam to work accurately, a couple things should happen. Number one, and again, it's probably cost too much money, but, just like there's a drone operator, you should have like people back who are monitoring via live stream what's happening in real time and can communicate with the officers in real time. Because maybe they can like talk to this officer in the middle of this officer doing some dumb shit and stop them from killing somebody or brutalizing somebody. That's number one. And then I think when somebody is omnipresent and actually watching in real time, and it's not one of them kind of things where the tape just gets buried, right, in some database somewhere. The other thing is I would like it if at some point, and I mean within a short time frame, if all of the body cam data is available on a website to be downloaded and viewed by the public. Because let's say, within 30 days, and I think that's a long time depending on the situation, but let's say within 30 days, all body cam is available to the public. Then that brings another level as well, because believe it or not, I guarantee you if that happened, you would have nonprofits. You'd have people out there who are dedicated, sitting in front of their computer all day just watching this shit just to make sure and, that the officers is on the up and up and analyzing. I don't know how it works now, but I just get the perception that until there's a problem, they don't really look at it. That's the perception I get now. Maybe, hey, once every 3 months, we got to sit down here and the sergeant sit down with you and say, look at this. Okay, this interaction here. Okay, great. And then boom, you cool. That's not really a real resource. I mean, I like to let the body cameras be preventative, like real time. Now, I'm spitballing and hypotheticaling and just talking ish, but that's just me on it. That's just me. And, I've seen cases where the body cam shows officers doing the most deplorable, downright despicable and criminal things and they walk. So it's like the body camera game. We got body camera. Well, so fucking what? If you're not going to find these individuals guilty and bring them to justice. So that's what I like. It should be public. All of it should be public. But they don't want to do that because you might see something before they see it. But that's what I like. It should be all public. Go to a website, dial in a particular badge number, particular time of day, and you can access and sit there and watch everything that happened, listen to everything that happened. Now, if you start doing something like, and it's the public, right now these officers know ain't nobody gonna see it but the police officers first, and they might give you the good old boy, shield, and hey, we're gonna yabba dabba do it and soft pedal it, and, hey. The mayor doesn't know, council doesn't know, so why? Let's not make a big deal unless it's a big deal and all this kind of stuff like we've been seeing. But I'm all for new equipment. I like new equipment. You want to get some new equipment? Great. But don't sell me that this new equipment is going to stop anything. I like the live streaming. I want to hear more about the live streaming capabilities and what the plan is for the live streaming capabilities. But again, just imagine how much money. You got 1,000 officers. I'm not sure how many have body cams. Let's assume 50% do. So you have 500 officers. I think it's much higher than that. So that means you need what? At least 50 monitors, 100 monitors. These are now what? Full-time positions, benefits, the whole 9 yards, training, a facility, But that would be dope if we had something like that. But, new body cameras, you got a better camera lens on there. Cool. The Axon cameras record automatically when officers draw a weapon or turn on their lights and sirens. I love that. I've been arguing for that forever. Soon as you put your hand on that trigger, and it should be the same thing with the taser. And I don't know if the police do this. Perhaps they do. It makes sense like they would do this. But anytime anytime the hand comes on, anytime you pointing a weapon at somebody, it should be documented. Do some paperwork every single time. I want to know why. I want to know where. I want to know the race of the individual you pulled the weapon on. If you're a police officer, because then what can we do? We can do analysis. We can see if there are any trends, like you pulling weapons on black folks all the time. You know what I'm saying? So I like that part of it. But let's go to the phones. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Guy, what's happening?
Hey, what's going on? Welcome.
Oh, you the man. I'm just visiting. I see that the young man called in and shouted the praises of one of the alt-middle brethren. As you know, we are the straws that stir the drinks of this month. You understand? Now, body cam, schmoddy cams, they will sit there and tell you that's not what you're seeing. Just like they told us that's not what we're hearing when the guy said, give me my gun so I can go lock up some niggers. Just like the woman said, Kobe Bryant was a member of the Los Angeles Lakers. You understand? So who cares about body cams? Change the law. You've got to get rid of that bullshit immunity, qualified immunity. That's the issue. All of the body cam argument is just window dressing. You understand?
I feel you.
Oh, okay. Yeah, and also, I don't like how you victim shamed the young rapper.
Victim shame?
I thought you kind of body shamed him. I thought you kind of victim. Yeah, because you're talking about put his address out there.
Yeah, he did. And, so people online were kind of connecting the dots like maybe when he did that, somebody saw that Instagram video and went to his house and decided to rob him.
Mm-hmm. But tell that to that woman that went to Mike Tyson's hotel room at 2 a.m. that she needed to do better, make better decisions. You'll get called a sexist and a victim shamer.
Well, you mean the woman that Mike Tyson raped? You mean the woman that Mike Tyson raped?
Yeah. The one he was convicted of raping.
Now,
he went to his hotel room at 2 a.m. What the hell you think he was going there for? To spar with him?
Yeah, but that's beside the point, though. That's beside the point.
No, it's all victim shaming.
Nah, bro.
That's
beside the point. Yeah, so what you're making it sound like is that because, was it Desiree Washington? Is that her name?
I don't remember that.
I think I'm right about that. What you're trying to say is that because it was 2 a.m. in the morning, the moment she stepped into his hotel room, she lost the ability to say no. And I disagree with that.
Okay, so he mistakenly or purposely puts his address on Instagram that says, yeah, come on, stick me up.
Well, of course not. Of course it don't.
All right, then.
I don't understand what you're arguing.
It's the same thing. It's victim shaming.
No,
you're blaming him for his own death.
No, I'm not blaming him. I'm blaming the thugs that would watch this man's Instagram and be like, oh, we see an opportunity. I'm not blaming him.
It's victim shaming.
At least you want it to be, but it's not. That's not what I was doing.
It's still victim shaming.
It's nothing like victim shaming. But I understand that's what you wanted to be this morning.
No, it's always, you're just on the wrong side of this. Just accept it.
I'm on the side. I think I'm on the right side. Because the side I'm on is the brother nobody should be going in his house, sticking him up. I don't care if he purposely posted his address. My point was just to tell the audience to be careful about what you flash on social media because there's predators out there.
I just saw this message drop put up talking about some fame back away, don't do it. Do you know how many times I say that about you, Colin? And I don't do anything.
All the time.
You know what I'm saying? I just sit there and let him talk. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm like, all right, well, he's a fan of the guy that I'm a fan of, so he's a friend of the family. You know what I'm saying? Go somewhere, boy. But no, I ain't going to even get on it because he is an affiliate, a fan.
Yeah, he's a fan of alt-middle. He loves the alt. He wants to be alt-middle.
No, he can't. He's a Republican.
Yeah, and so is Black Russia.
No, Black Russia is not a Republican.
Black Russia was a registered Republican, so that's as Republican as it gets.
And he's going to register as a Democrat to vote for, to vote in the primary.
Okay, and maybe drop sometime in the future might switch to Democrat too. So
see,
come on, be consistent.
Your show is people, politics, and pleasure.
Correct.
Brethren, Russia handles the politics. I handle the people. Brother Broadway handles the pleasure.
Sounds like a plan.
Triumvirate.
Sounds like a plan.
You understand? But yeah, if you say that about a woman, like that lawyer for Weinstein, I ain't never been raped because I ain't never put myself in a bad situation. Everybody went off on him. Same thing as this rapper did. He put himself in a bad situation. It's the same victim shaming. Ease up on the young brother. He's 20 years old. He knows not what
he was
does.
20 years old. Yeah, I'm not blaming him at all. Like I said, he could have put his address as a crawler at the bottom of the screen. And that still don't justify somebody going over here and trying to murder. And like I said, you're going to rob the dude. That's bad enough. You're going to murder the man? Damn.
I mean, I agree with that, but that wasn't your take. That's not what I heard, but I could have been wrong.
Yeah, it wouldn't be the first time.
You got jokes. Okay, I mean,
no, that's facts.
Fine.
And nobody's fallible. Nobody's infallible. I'm wrong. You wrong. It happens. You heard that wrong.
You remain insulting to the alt middle, and that's fine. We remain fans, and the straw that stirs the drink. That's all. But I'll holler at you at a future, Moon B.
Wreck all the calls this morning. Flo Montana writes, Bloomberg could have smoked them by simply saying, I made a bad policy. But unlike you guys, in the 94 crime bill, I reversed it. Trump was right. Mike needs some debate skills. Yeah, I think that Bloomberg could have clearly been he could have been more agile with his, and again, it confounds me that these people get on stage and they're just so ill-equipped. And again, maybe they've already rehearsed it and they just forget it or whatever. But I'm just astounded. I mean, I would expect a more polished response. You know it's coming. Bloomberg had to know they were going to come after him about stop and frisk. And his response was that they reversed it when they realized that it was having an impact that they didn't intend. But that was the impact. Your intention was to focus on black people. We know this through his rhetoric of his many media appearances. That's what his purpose was. I thought Elizabeth Warren, I mean, the best way to get somebody is with the truth. And she hit him with the truth when she said, nah, here you are apologizing for the impact, but not the intent. That was your intent. But a Bloomberg, I think that's a hard thing to come away from. Like, so you're going to admit that at some point your intention was to target black people because you thought they were committing all the crimes. Ain't no apology for that. You just got racism in your motherfucking heart. He can apologize for the impact. That's why he's doing it. At least that's how I see it, in my opinion. But, you know, the stuff with the NDA, he could have handled that better, but it's a difficult handle. He could have handled that better, I thought. I thought he poured more gasoline by even bringing it up and talking about it. Like, if ever you want to, you know, do the Hakeem Olajuwon dream shake in the post, it's on that question. And he's trying to explain it. There is no explaining. You're buying women off because you sexually harassed them, you pig. But Donald Trump admitted that he grabbed women by the ussy, and he still got elected. So how really important is this? He got elected, he grabbed him by the ussy. Oh, word? Oh, yeah, when you're a celebrity, man, you just walk over to him and just grab him by the ussy. Now, you know damn well he's done that to some young woman who thought that Donald Trump was a big-time celebrity, was going to make her rich, make her a star. Well, you know, we got a spot open on The Apprentice next year. I bet that was his opening line to all those young Hollywood starlets with visions of being the next Jennifer Aniston. They all want to be the next Jennifer Aniston. Oh, my gosh. I hear you, Nate, but you say that as if every single Democrat candidate isn't being vetted. Everybody is getting scrutiny. CG Dub writes, can't wait for SNL this weekend. Cassandra writes, Lord, if you watching this chat, just let me prove that having millions of dollars won't change me. I promise to give back to my community and put someone else in a position to make millions too. Yeah, I don't think that because you become a millionaire, you lose your morality. That's not what I'm saying. There's a difference between having $10 million in the bank, $50 million in the bank, $100 million, and having $36 billion. That's worlds apart. You might as well be in another galaxy. It's hard to even fathom that. And I just wonder if the race and the systems and the deals and the politics that creates that, on the other end, what is it creating? Well, it's creating some of the neighborhoods and the lack of opportunities that we see and we talk about every single day. Ray writes, there will always be those of us at the bottom. Those that control supremacy ain't doing no dishes or washing no clothes. It's what they do with it that matters. There's always going to be wealthy people in the country, always going to be that way. I just remember reading numbers that like in the last 50 years, the ratio of the difference of the income between like the workers of a corporation and the CEO of the corporation, it used to be much smaller. And for me, the best times is when everybody's happy, when everybody's eating. When everybody's eating, everybody's happy. When everybody got a shot where they can just work hard and live that middle-class lifestyle, what was that? You working hard, you got vacation days, you might have a little summer home. People still working hard. Americans are productive, more productive now than in a lot of years. American workers are productive, but the rules, the benefits, the wages have been stacked against the working class. I mean, I'm not saying you can't go out here and make no money because people are doing it. But I'm just saying, though. I'm just saying. A lot of it has to do with the disintegration of union membership. On your job, making sure you have protections, making sure your boss can't wake up tomorrow and because he or her got whatever going on, they want to take it out on you. Now you looking for a job on Monday. Making sure that when new workers come in, that you've been there 5, 6, 7, 8 years, that they don't automatically end up being your boss because the boss likes them and all this kind of shit. You know, the kind of favoritism and people getting looked over that's been on the job for years and years that goes on every day. Because you're on a job by yourself. You ain't got no real protection. You ain't got no protection. You out here trying to make ends. It's a whole big difference. It's a big difference between, you going in as an individual talking with your boss and your union rep that represents all the people that work there collectively going in there talking with your boss. It's a whole difference. It's going to produce a whole different kind of conversation, a whole different result. Because you as an individual can get your shit and leave right now. And no one's going to say anything. You know what I'm saying? You be calling Donnie B, got a case. If you can't afford it. That's the other thing. There's a lot of people who get done wrong on their job and don't have no money. They got a case, but they can't pay for the case. You stuck. Because the only money you had, you just left. You know what I'm saying? The powers that be noticed. This is why people get preyed on their jobs. You know what I'm saying? As soon as you buy a new car, they're like, you got a new car out there? Motherfuckers on jobs start looking at you differently now because now you need it. Got to make them payments. Let me see here. Back to your chat. The Alt Middle OG is here to school, y'all. Pay attention. That's from Flo Montana, a.k.a. Broadway. Cam writes, it's way too early to determine a winner of the entire election. I agree. I'm just asking who your favorite is right now. I agree. Like I said, we haven't even got to the black vote. We ain't even got to Ohio. We surely, we surely can't make a decision until after South Carolina. I mean, Nevada will give us some indications, a bit more diverse than the previous caucus and primary locations. But, I want to have a say in it. I want to know what Ohioans think about it. I live in Ohio. Sissy Tigress writes, I noticed Klobuchar look at Warren like, quote, B, don't make it look like you saved me. The Latina ate her ass up about Mexico. Yeah, she was digging into her guts with a hot knife. And then Elizabeth Warren came in caping her. I didn't really like it. I wish that Warren had not been. Well, let's be honest here. It doesn't really matter. Well, it's not the biggest issue. I agree. To me, the Latina was trying to make it a big deal. I get it from a Latino Mexican perspective. It's like, oh, you're just going to forget our names. You think we inconsequential? We invisible? I get it. But to me, shit, she really need to be questioned on what happened with that case in Minneapolis and how she denied that young boy the opportunity to even go to see his mama after she died in a fiery car crash. That's the real issue. The real question is, so you had over 24 officer-involved shootings while she was the DA, and none of them did anything wrong? You ain't charged none of them? To me, that's far more impactful and important than whether she remembered the name of the Mexico president. But again, if you are from that heritage, everybody has their own sensitivity, so I get it. I just didn't like the fact that Warren was trying to stand up for her. I'm like, let her stand on her own 2 feet. Don't you hate when you're talking to somebody and somebody else want to chime in? I'm not talking to you, B. I'm talking to this person. They're grown. Let her deal with it on her own. I ain't here to save you. I didn't like it, but it is what it is. Bloomberg has the largest war chest. That makes a huge difference in the long haul. Yes, it does. And if you got $37 million, the one thing that you're not going to be beholden to is big money special interest. If I got $36 billion running for president, I'm going to fund my own campaign. I'm willing to drop $1 billion because that's what it's going to take throughout the whole campaign, Democrat primary. And then, it might just be $1 billion just to run against Trump. I don't know. But, you might be willing to spend $1 billion, which is what, 1/36 of his wealth, which is crazy to say. He's not going to be beholden to the big money special interest. We know that. But he might have the same mentality as these big money special interests without getting any money. All I know is this. If Bernie wins the nomination, I'm gonna be real disappointed if he wins the nomination, wins the presidency. I guess what I'm trying to say is this. Across the board, I'm not really looking for a moderate Democrat. I'm looking for more of a progressive Democrat. I'm not looking for somebody that's going to start putting Republicans in place to show that they got to buy. I ain't looking for all of that. I'm looking for people that's going to stack the deck and get the job done, just like Donald Trump is doing, just like McConnell's doing. Stack the deck and get the job done. That's it. Nothing more than that. The funniest ish was the message Tracy from Cincinnati got from the Bloomberg campaign. Pure comedy. Let me go to that right there. She did post that. Okay. I get it. Okay, let me check this out. So they actually sent her a message back, huh? That's great. That's great. That is great. This is from Tracy. I don't know why I got this mess. So she said she doesn't know. So I don't know if she sent a message or not, but she got a tweet from Bloomberg. It reads, Tracy, have you heard that Mike has qualified for tonight's debate? And then she posted, I heard he got his ass handed to him. That is hilarious, Tracy. And then the response, it might be one of these robo tweets or something like this. That is hilarious. It seems like you may not be interested in receiving updates from Mike Bloomberg via Messenger. Do you want to opt out? Oh, that's hilarious. I heard he got his ass handed to him. That's hilarious. That's good stuff from Tracy. It's inside the Friends page right now. Someone else says, Frankie writes, I had to block them. So Bloomberg, it's just so many ways to interact with people. And Bloomberg, with that amount of money, man, he's got a digital team working. He might have a separate team for each platform just running politics, just trying to connect with voters and get in front of people. You dropping $300 million in what, 10 weeks? I'm also reading that there's some more Covington Catholic students and parents who are now suing the Washington Post for the reckless coverage of the 2019 incident. And they're doing that because one of the parents of Nick Sandman, they already got paid off. So now these other good white families over in these good white Catholics getting greedy, trying to make some money by suing these media companies. That's all it is. Like, meanwhile, back in the hood, when you got people of color that sue the local government, people be looking at them like, oh, you just in it for the money. That's what they were saying about the family of Sandra Bowles. I thought it was disrespectful. Oh, this is about the money. They don't care about that money. I'm sure they love to have their loved one back, but this is the process that people go through. Meanwhile, across the river, these good white Catholic folks is trying to get greedy. Everybody want to, hey, you got a lawsuit? Got a lawsuit? We got a lawsuit. Let's cash in. Everybody want to cash in. I posted inside the Friends page. Posted inside the Friends page what we were talking about earlier about the people who have applied for Amy Murray's seat. And it's some interesting names in there. Some names that caught my attention because it's just non-traditional and I like it. And I posted, it reads with this caption, there are some interesting names on this list. We need black Republicans who will represent for the people. Donnie B writes, is there such a thing as a black Republican who will represent for the people? I want to hope there is. I want to hope there is. I do. I want to hope there is. I want to hope that, these brothers and sisters that might want to be, I'm talking about black folks that might want to be, that might identify as Republicans and are looking to get Amy Murray's seat, are not just going to get in there and be a black face to policies that damage our communities. I want to believe that. Because I don't think you necessarily have to punk out to be a black Republican, but maybe you do if you want to get the support. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying anything about Jeff Pastor whatsoever. And then the second thing is they need black Republicans. I mean, they need to diversify. You're like a unicorn over there, especially if you can establish yourself as being a winning candidate. I don't know. We'll find out. That'd be quite interesting. There's a couple names on there, 3 or 4 names that stood out to me. What is this? That's a great meme. Thank you, Carolyn. That's there. That is hilarious. That's hilarious. I love it. What in the hell? Steven Spielberg's daughter comes out as a porn star. Clearly, she's rejecting daddy. What in the hell? Is that real? Listen, I got to make a move. It's after 1. Thank you for being here. To my patrons, I'm going to be dropping an exclusive audio show just for you in just a little bit. So look for that. And then also look for a live stream on YouTube as well. Consider becoming a patron. I'm building new black media in the city of Cincinnati, the greater Cincinnati area, amplifying black voices. And you can be a part of it for as little as $2 per month. Plus, there's a lot of perks associated with it. Check it out on Patreon. Have an excellent day. I'll be back with you bright and early tomorrow morning. Okay, we're going to have a heart health conversation tomorrow. And, well, I won't tell you because I haven't 100% confirmed, but perhaps we'll kick off our candidates conversations as well. I know early voting has opened. You can actually go in and vote now. But give me a week until we can get some of the conversations up. If you haven't already made your decision, and before you vote, you should hear some competent conversations and interviews about these candidates and where they stand. Have an excellent, excellent day. I'll be back with you bright and early tomorrow morning. Until then, I'm Nathan Ivey, and I'm out.